So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Chill Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're talking about a debut album by a band from the UK called Oversize, and the album is called Vital Signs. And they're an alternative rock shoegaze type of band. So, yeah, the last few years, I would say since 2015 until now, there's been a revival of 90s sounding bands that have or shoegaze or grungy appeal, or they mix grunge with shoegaze and it's called grunge gaze. So I'm all for it because, as you can see, I grew up in the 90s. So every time I listen to this type of music, there's a nostalgia thing, it brings you back to the times when I was growing up in the 90s, getting into music. But what I like about these bands and this resurgence of bands bringing this style back is that they're doing it in a way that's not, I wouldn't say like copycat, they're taking their influences and they're making it with more modern production, more modern sounds. And I think they're doing it with a lot of respect. So there's some great music out there. So if you're one of those douchebags or assholes that say there's no good music after I graduated from high school, there is dipshit. You just need to go out there and seek music because there is some great talented new bands. So I'm glad I don't have that mentality, and at 47 years old I still get excited to discover new bands because yes, I still love the old bands. Of course, I still love Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and those bands from the 90s. But time goes on and you have to explore different shit, man. Get with the times. Obviously, there's bands that are better than others, but in this case, Oversize, this is a great debut record. It's 10 songs and it's 30 minutes in length. So the songs are short. They're like 2.5, 3 minutes. I think the longest one is like 4 minutes. So it's good, and it's the length. It's a record. It's not an EP. So I gotta say that this band really reminds me a lot in some of their singing and the way of the distortion of bands like a band like Hum, who was a band in the 90s that should have been bigger. So, hey, maybe that's another episode for that series. But, the way, because they have some subtlety, shoegaze elements to them when the music is more soft, but they also have plenty of distortion, which, shoegaze can be or very dreamy, or incorporating with the distortion. I like a balance of the distortion and the dreaminess, and I think Oversize does that in spades on this debut record. So for being a debut record, it sounds really cool. They had some previous EP. This is a band that's fairly new. I just discovered them last year because I listened to some of the singles and I was like, yep, this is exactly my cup of tea of what I like. So the album starts with a song called Stalling, and it starts more mellow, more dreamier. Then the guitar kicks in. And something this album has, there's a few songs that blend into the other, and then you're like, oh, it's another song. And I didn't notice. This happens in the first song, from Stalling to Are You With Me? The transition is so seamlessly that I just thought that I was listening to the same song. But then I'm like, no, it changed. And Are You With Me is a great track. There you get these very lush guitars with a little bit of distortion, but not too much that it would disrupt from the flow of the song. And the vocals, I like the vocalist. The vocalist's name is Sam Macaulay, and I like him. And when you see the way he looks, he's short hair, glasses. He kind of looks like a cross between the singer from Hum and Rivers Cuomo from Weezer. So yeah, take that as you will. I like his vocals. I like it because he can do the more dreamier shoegaze vocals, but he can also scream in a more grungier aggressive type of things. Like, for example, there's a song called Fall Apart that really has a Deftones style riff into it, and it has more aggressive shouting vocals to it, but it also has a great chorus in the part, and I like the guitar tone to that song and the riffing, because obviously I love Deftones. Then you have a song called Something to Clean, which starts mellow, but it's a song that goes from mellow to loud, then mellow again, and then loud, which I thought it was great, and it kept you on your toes, because you're like, is it gonna get loud now, or is it gonna keep on being a mellow type of track? So that's a really good one. And the album keeps, getting, like, every song is really good. Like songs like The Incline, it's in the middle, really rocking riffs. But at the end, it has two standout tracks. One is called Vacant. And this is a song about struggles and communication. And that one, with the riffing, it really reminded me of like a grunge type of like riffing. It's sometimes it was very hard to the like grunge and shoegaze. They did have some distinctive differences to their tone. So that one I really enjoyed, and it has a good melody to it, and I like the bass line in that track. Then the song that you have a song that features Heavenward, which on that band you have the former lead singer of Teenage Wrist, which is another band that I love. So that song's called Salt, and I think it has vocals from the Heavenward singer. So again, pretty great track. The collaboration between the two bands is really great. So I enjoyed that. And the last song on the record is called Vital Signs, and it's so good. It's such an epic album closer. It's the longest track on the record. You get some great guitar riffing. The distortion is there, the lushness. You have some clean vocals, but also shouting. And it ends the album on a high note, because sometimes with these alternative rock shoegaze albums, like sometimes they like to end like on a mellow track, but I don't know. I liked it that they ended bombastically, and it ended. And I wanted to listen to it again. Since it's only 30 minutes, this has great replay value. My only nitpick is like, man, I wish it would have been just a little bit, like, give me 2 more songs, because it's so good. But I think for a debut record, sounds very promising. Sometimes debut records, like back in the day, sometimes debut records were more like demos, and they sounded shitty. And this band, the way the lead singer sings also, if you're a fan of bands like from the 90s, like early Slowdive and Ride, you can enjoy this band as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I love this music, and it really takes me back to the 90s. But again, like I said, with some modern production to it. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Oversize-Vital Signs? If you didn't know this band and you like the type of music that I've been describing, check them out. Comment down below and let me know what you think of this band. So if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to subscribe and give me a like. That helps me with the YouTube algorithm to get to more people like yourself. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.